Hey everybody, so welcome to week 18. So this week everything was going pretty well. I decided to jump on the scale yesterday just to see how things were going, and I was at 380. And then I decided for some reason that I would have eggs and a piece of ham steak. And when I got on the scale this morning, my weight was at 390. So somehow, in the span of less than 24 hours, it jumped 10 pounds. So I think that just pretty much goes to prove that I am not allowed to have eggs and ham at this time. So I'm just going to continue with doing just the meat. I know that it has worked for me in the past. So, rather than wanting to give up and walk away, I am going to just continue to do what I need to do in order to get the weight to continue come down. Yes, the blood sugar is doing really well. All of the other problems, as far as I know, things in my life are definitely getting better. It's just obviously the weight is not, but I don't want to make that the thing that drags me down and gets me to give up. So that's what I'm not going to do that. I'm going to, sojourn on, and I'm going to get this under control, and I'm going to keep going. I've decided that I am not going to weigh myself for a little while, so I will not be giving weight updates right now. I can't keep looking at that because it honestly, that is just the one little thing that tells me whether or not all of this is going well. Or I mean, if my weight goes down, or if my weight goes up, then it's like none of this has been worth it. When in actuality, I know that that's not the case. I know that that is only in my mind because my mind does not want me to continue to do this. So, but I am going to keep going. I'm going to keep going forward. So I will continue, obviously to do the videos, but just for a little while, probably at least for a month, I'm not going to be giving any updates with regards to weight. I will continue to give, my blood sugar numbers. I'll be taking that once a week, or sorry, once a day, but I will give you the updates once a week. So just wanted to give you that update. I am still walking every day. Doing about 2.5 miles. I did find a way of doing 3 miles without having to do that big hill and back up, or the big valley and then up. So, but I will probably eventually just keep doing that one, just to give me a big push right there at the end. So, so for the rest of today's video, what I am going to be playing for you is a video that was pre-recorded by Sarah from Healthy Carnivore UK. She was having some issues with delay when she was trying to record, when she had connected to StreamYard, and she had let me know that there was a big delay in what she was saying versus like how long it was taking to get there. So what I did was I sent her the questions, the initial questions that I had, and excuse me, she went ahead and just sat down with her phone and the questions, and went ahead and just recorded her answers, her responses to those questions. And so what I've done was I got a before and after picture of her. I put those side by side, and those are going to be on the screen the whole time while she's talking, and then the questions will come up at the bottom, the questions that I asked. So please watch this video all the way through to the end, just like you did with the video from the other day, and from Lauren from Farmer's Wife, Carnivore Life. So please watch this. The information that she gives is, of course, it's very important, and it gets, it gets her story out, but it also gets, it tells people that, hey, some of the things that she has, you may have, and others may not. But if if things are going well and she's seeing your recovery in those things, then you need to hear it. People need to hear it. One last thing before I go and I let Sarah take over. I created a Discord server. So what that is basically sort of like a chat room. It's designed so that people can go in and say hello to everybody. But I set it up so that if you have a story, if you want a way to be able to tell your carnivore journey, rather than just trying to do it through somebody's comments in a video, or trying to say something in a very long live stream that may be going on, and you may not get excuse me, you may not be able to get anybody to see or respond to you. This will be a way for people to be able to interact. You can certainly jump in there and say hello to anybody. I've got it set up so that there's a general area where you can just come in and say hi. There's a place that's there for you to tell your story, and then there's a place there, if you want to tell about recipes or different things that you've been eating that you think maybe other people would want to know about. You can certainly put those in there. You will have to go and sign up. It just takes a minute to create an account. If you're on a computer, it's going to ask you if you want to download a program, so it'll be on your computer. Or if you're on a mobile device, it may ask you if you want to download the app. You can certainly do that. That's a nice way to be able to see responses, and when people post. It may not be a direct response to what you sent, but at least you can pop in there and see what people are saying and say hello. So that is available. Also, one more thing, I am still absolutely open to, if you want to get on a camera with me and record your story. Excuse me, my goodness. If you want to record your story with me, please feel free to reach out. It's lawndwar01@gmail.com, and it's in the About section in my channel. And please feel free to reach out to me. I mean, I just got somebody, I've had two wonderful ladies from the UK reach out. We had John last weekend, here in North Carolina, and I've got a couple other. I've got one lady, I think in Pennsylvania, I think it was. I'm sorry if I got it wrong. And then I actually ended up getting an email from somebody in Norway yesterday, so we're going to be working on connecting with him next week and getting him recorded and then getting that posted next week. So if you feel like you want to do that, please feel free to reach out to me, and we'll work on getting that set up. I do start my new job not this coming week, but the next week on the 25th. So what will probably end up happening is, at least for a few more weeks, my evenings will be free, but my weekends are still going to be tied up. My weekend evenings are going to be tied up because of the other job that I have. And so the only time that I would probably have available, if you're only able to do days, would probably be like on a Saturday morning. But just reach out and let's see if we can figure this out. All right. So I'm going to hand this off to Sarah. So thank you, everybody. And please watch all the way through to the end. Again, the information that she gives is really great. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, so my life before carnivore. Well, I was trained from a very early age to be a comfort eater, something that I still have to battle against now as an adult. I was overweight, not massively overweight, but also always chubbier than my peers all of my life, and that continues to now. Off and on different kinds of diets, mostly low calorie, low fat, high misery kind of diets. And then I found Slimming World in the UK, where I was able to eat loads and loads of food. So I thought that was a great strategy, but that turned out to just be a big disaster. I even became a consultant with them for 3.5 years, but I gave that up when I realised that it just wasn't working for me or any of the members in my group. And then in 2014, I was at my heaviest weight and heaviest size. I had a 40-inch waist. I was pre-diabetic at 38. I was depressed and not sleeping very well, and I decided to give up sugar and wheat. And the husband of Amber O'Hearn, called Zuko on Twitter, he suggested that I give up everything else. He said, well, it's great you can give up sugar and wheat. Would you like to give up everything else? And before I knew it, I was on keto. And then a couple of weeks later, I was doing carnivore. And that really did change my life, because I realized I could then be healthy and never feel hungry. So that was really what happened there. Luckily, I was only 38 when I found the carnivore diet, so I didn't have any long-term issues and very serious problems. Really, I just had some mild anxiety and mild depression. I probably was verging on pre-diabetic, but I didn't have any blood tests. But I did have a 40-inch waist and was very inflamed, so it wouldn't have surprised me if I was. I did have diagnosed gastritis and psoriasis, which are both now resolved. Now trying to think if there's anything else that I would actually... No, I think that's pretty much it. The question about how far I am into my journey is a little bit more of a tricky question to answer. The whole journey, including all of the scenic parts to that journey, is now nearly 9 years, because I did find carnivore in October 2014. We're now in September 2023. So it's been a long journey of discovery and ups and downs and problems and successes. Loads and loads of health benefits as a result of that, but struggling with the weight loss side, as you know already. I had no idea why I was struggling to lose weight, but luckily a very good friend of mine put a suggestion that I was perhaps deficient in iron, and I've had some blood tests done, and I am indeed very low in ferritin, and hopefully now that particular part of my journey is now resolved. Let's keep our fingers crossed, because next year will be my 10-year carnivore anniversary of when I found it, and it would be amazing to be able to be at target weight and be able to report dozens of health benefits as well, and to be the complete package, the complete success story. So yeah, we're at nearly 9 years of up and down, either eating carnivore or mostly carnivore with the treats. I've had stretches of between 3 and 6 months of perfect carnivore in that time, and now looking to finally get the weight loss that I feel I deserve. My why for starting the carnivore diet has evolved over time. It was in 3 phases, really. I initially tried the carnivore diet for weight loss purposes. It then kind of evolved to health benefits. I discovered there were a lot more health benefits to carnivore than the vast majority of people would ever even begin to realise. I realised you could heal stuff that you just can't heal by change of diet, surely, because it's just taboo to imagine that your joints and everything else could be fixed by a good diet. And then after a while, once you realise that you've got all these health benefits, you start wanting to help other people. And so now my third and most important why is to help other people. I see people walking around in supermarkets and around the streets and at work and other places, and they are suffering with something. Everyone around me is suffering with something, and I just would love to be able to shout at them and say, oh, please just eat meat and then you can feel like me. But that's difficult for me because I am still carrying weight I don't need, so people are not likely to take any notice of my journey. So really, I now need to get my weight loss finished, get my last remaining couple of health niggles out the way. I still have some skin tags, things like that I'm hoping will go away. And then I can start making videos that I can hopefully send to friends, family, people out on the street who just see how healthy I am for my age. If you're in your mid-50s in the UK and you are 100% healthy and a perfect weight, people are going to want to know how you are like that. They want to know why you're not in pain. They want to know why you look so lively and vibrant and never seem to catch any colds or anything. And I'll be able to say, hey, I did the carnivore diet. Why don't you try it for 30 days? Yeah, so that's my new why. So there are 3 things really: weight loss, health benefits, and just wanting other people to know that they can transform their life. When it comes to transitional issues, I haven't really had that many. I have been in and out of ketosis so many times over the last 9 years that my body seems to do it pretty quickly. If I have to give up the carbs because I've, lost my way, perhaps like I've been on a vacation or something, I can get back into it pretty quickly with not many symptoms really. I might feel a little tiny bit tired for a couple of days, but nothing dramatic. The only thing I had the biggest problem with was transitioning from dairy. Having to quit dairy, I feel, was the biggest emotional roller coaster. So I think if anyone tried to come to carnivore and they've come from a standard American diet or standard UK diet and they've decided to give up dairy at the same time as all of the main carbs, I think they'd probably have quite a hard time, because having to give up dairy was easily for me the biggest shock to the system. So clearly it doesn't suit me to eat it. I lose about 6 or 7 pounds when I give it up, and I am emotional. I want to cry. It's quite brutal for me. I do feel sorry for anyone that's decided to go from a completely standard diet down to just beef and water, because I think the first 7 to 10 days of their journey they're probably best just to stay in bed, really, because that would be quite a feat. I wouldn't like to have to do dairy at the same time as giving up everything else. That sounds quite traumatic. So yeah, I switch pretty easy between a glucose and a fat burner, and I have no problem in any other areas. When it comes to my goals, I think my goals have kind of evolved over time, just like my why, really. My goal is to, to start with, the goal is to lose weight, and the next goal is to realize that you can actually completely transform your health. And with my carnivore lifestyle, though, my goal at the moment is to help as many people as possible with my channel. At the moment, my YouTube channel is mostly just in its infancy. I've just got a few lovely people that follow me on a daily basis and help me, and we chat and we're helping each other. But the main goal is for the channel to absolutely explode, because I've got a thumbnail with me in a gorgeous bikini and prancing around on the beach and being the healthiest, slimmest version of myself I've ever been. Like I said, I have been overweight all my life. Not extremely, but I don't think I've ever been a normal weight ever in my life. And I would like to see what it's like to be normal weight before I get too much older, before I completely and utterly am ready just before I get too much older, really. You understand. I'm in my 40s now. I really would very much like to be slim before I'm 50, so that I can still look reasonable in my clothes, but also the health benefits of running alongside me. My mother had very bad health. She had one health problem after another, and I don't want to follow in her footsteps. So yeah, to become the slimmest, healthiest version that a human being can be, really, on the proper human diet. Have I ever had the urge to cheat? Well, the answer for me is a very most definitely yes. And I have done on plenty of occasions over the last 9 years. I'm not your perfect carnivore. I'm not your intimidating, wow, I lost 100 pounds in a year and I've stayed like that for 10 years type of carnivore. It just was never going to be me. With my upbringing of comfort eating and my body fighting against me, not wanting to lose weight, probably half due to the yo-yo dieting of my younger years, and also, as it turns out, just a few deficiency problems, I don't lose weight very well, and sometimes I get very upset and lose the plot and end up eating foods I shouldn't, and then obviously I start to feel worse, so I get back on the train and carry on until the next time I lose the plot. So yes, I would love to say that I was one of those carnivores that's never cheated or even considered cheating, but sadly I'm in the other camp. I'm in the camp of people who are still waiting to become that ultra successful permanent carnivore. I keep coming back to it because I know that it's magic. I know that my body responds incredibly well from a health point of view, and that's why I keep finding myself back on that carnivore health train. The trouble is, though, I do follow a lot of carnivores who have been successful, and then I start to beat myself up, which is a shame. You know, I'm only human. You know, humans make mistakes, and I'm hoping that my channel will be a great channel as a result. I'm hoping it's a empathetic channel, a sympathetic channel. I'm hoping that people will flock to my channel that are struggling and understand that it is possible to be struggling and then be successful. So yes, I have cheated. I had a cheat the other day because I'd lost the plot mentally. I did a video about this. I'm not going to bore everyone with why it happened and what happened, but I'm on track. I'm fully carnivorous today. I expect to be fully carnivorous tomorrow, and that's all we can really plan for, really. So that's my little journey in a nutshell. Have all my issues been solved? Well, fortunately, I didn't have any serious ones. I just had the gastritis, which was diagnosed in 2002. That's immediately resolved. As soon as I eat just meat, it's instantly gone. So as long as I only eat meat, I don't have any symptoms in my gut or my stomach. I had psoriasis right from a small child that I was using cream for. That only really resolved once I was willing to give up the dairy. So I did continue to have psoriasis throughout the last few years, and it's only really gone this year. A little bit sad that it means the cheese has to be gone forever, but you know, we have to make a decision, don't we? What's more important to us, eating our cheese or not having itchy sore skin? So, you know, you just got to decide which is important. I've gone for not having the cheese anymore. The other issue was obviously that I was obese. I am still very slightly obese, but not as bad as I was. My waist measurement is 5 inches less than it was nearly 9 years ago. So, you know, I'm on the right track, and it's certainly true that I could be a heck of a lot bigger than I am if I hadn't put all this effort in over the last few years. I am a severe carb addict and sugar addict and could very much be an awful lot bigger than I am. So I like to celebrate that in its, you know, little wins, baby steps. I never had my pre-diabetes actually diagnosed. This is something that's come on more recently. So this year I've been working on my blood sugars. They're now in the perfect range. My recent blood test showed that I have no risk for diabetes, which is fantastic. I think my cholesterol is pretty much the same as it was in my 30s, in that in my 30s I didn't have a cholesterol problem and I still don't. So that's pretty great. Obviously, I have developed this iron deficiency issue, so that is something that's come on, but it's got nothing to do with carnivore. I think it's more to do with my tea drinking and the fact that becoming older, I've had some problems with my monthly cycles, which I'm now trying to fix. So I have had very heavy monthly cycles, which do contribute to iron deficiency in women of my age. So I'm working on that. So yeah. My journey's been so long, it's very difficult to say what issues I had and what issues I didn't have, because things are evolving, my journey changes, my health, but I didn't have any very serious health problems, and thankfully, because of all the meat I've eaten, I haven't developed any new ones. So I dread to think what my life would be like had I not found this way of eating. I think I would be much, much unhealthier. I think I would be much, much heavier. And much, much more depressed. I mean, depression does run in my family. My father suffered with it. My mother suffered with it. My brother still does. So, you've got to think in terms of, what am I avoiding by eating this way? I'm avoiding going down the same route they did with my mental health. I'm avoiding going down the same route with thyroid problems and cancer and other health issues. For me, it's a lot to do with, what am I avoiding? What's not going wrong as a result of me eating this way? And that's super important to me. I have absolutely no doubt that the carnivore diet is right for me, for my future health. I decided that very, very early on in the journey, and I have seen nothing over the last, it is the best part of a decade for me, and I have not seen any reason why this way of eating isn't absolutely perfect for my life and my future health. Nothing. No regrets, and I wish more people were eating carnivore. Any other business? Well, yes, there is one thing I'd like to say. I do, and many other people who do carnivore do the same thing. We regularly tell other people about the way we're eating, and generally the answer is generally always the same. I am so glad it worked for you, but it wouldn't work for me, and we're all so different, aren't we? We're all so different. It's not going to work for me, but I'm so glad it worked for you. And then that's the end of the conversation. And I don't think that humans are that different from each other. I think we were all born from the basic structure. Yes, we are all coming at this lifestyle with different amounts of metabolic damage, health damage, we're all coming at it at different weights, different health problems, different issues. Some of us have, come from long-term plant-based diets and have got multiple things that we need to fix. And for some of us, it's going to be a really long journey before we see the results in our health and our weight that we want. But I think that underneath all of that, we are all the same. And I do believe that with persistence and the right help, a carnivore diet will sort out the health problems of most humans. Some people will run into problems, and most of those problems can be fixed. I mean, look at me. I have struggled to lose weight, and nobody's really talking about the fact that you can have a mineral deficiency like iron and not lose weight. I have not seen that in any carnivore video in the years I've been doing it. If only someone had been talking about that earlier. What I'm basically trying to say, rather ineloquently, is that I think that most problems can be fixed by a standard carnivore diet. Some people might need to tweak a few things. Some people need to go a little bit further, or go down the carb wagon a little bit further and then just do lion diet. Some people can get all the health benefits they need from eating a full spectrum of dairy and eggs and all the fish, all the meat, sweeteners and the whole lot. Some of us have to be more strict. Some of us have to take more time over things. Some of us have to get blood work done and see if there's a problem with our thyroid or something. But I think in general, pretty much every human that I've spoken to in the real world, I think they would be absolutely shocked if they had a 60-day trial of just beef and water. They may not enjoy eating that way for 60 days, but in terms of their health and how they feel, I'd love for them to do it and say, wow, these things have happened that I wasn't expecting. I feel so much better than I ever thought. Actually, Sarah, you were right. That's what I'd like to add to this. I do genuinely think that humans are really not that different. Some of us just need a bit of extra support to get the results we want. And I think if you're willing to dig deep enough, you'll find your results. Yeah, that's basically it. Thanks, Jeremy.